go. Here we go, man. Welcome to Bridging the Generation podcast, man. I'm your host, Malak Arif, where we are connecting hip hop, R&B, and jazz from the past, present, and the future. And today, I have a very, very, very special guest, man. I've been very excited to meeting this brother for a while. You know, I checked him out a couple of months ago, and the visuals from the aesthetics and the music, it was something that I had to tap in with, man. And I love what I'm seeing from this young brother. And welcome into the platform, the one and only Akbar The Great. What's going on, brother?
That's love, man. That's love, family, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. It's all good. Having a good day today, man. Actually, I can't complain.
That's what's up, man. How's everything holding up, man, with the whole COVID and all that type of nonsense going on?
Man, you know, it's been good, man. I can't complain too much. You know, this whole process for me, man, kind of started through this whole pandemic era, man. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a blessing and a curse, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But my aunt, man, she just now overcame Corona. And so it's most definitely real out here, man. I have some real life family members affected by it.
Okay, that's crazy, man. Like I said, you know, listening to your music, man, you definitely, you know, you're definitely hip to what's going on in the environment, man. From an older brother to a younger brother, man. Like, yeah, I applaud you for being very aware, man. You know, we're not gonna go too deep.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, family.
Yeah. Nah, I'm not gonna go too deep because we be talking. They be like, oh man, they talking conspiracy theories.
Yeah, hey, man. You know, the deeper it goes, man, the crazier they say you are. You know what I'm saying? But
exactly.
We don't got that foundation for it to add up. You know what I'm saying? You just lost some stuff.
Exactly, man. 2 + 2 supposed to be 4. And
exactly.
So look, let's start from the beginning, man. You know, like I said, man, when I first saw you, you know, I saw you, the aesthetic stood out to me, man. The music jumped out to me. And I feel like what you have is very special, man. But I want to go back, man. I want to go back to the beginning. And I want to know, how did all of this start? Where exactly are you from?
I'm from Columbus, Ohio, man. So I was born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. I mean, as a kid, you know what I'm saying, I moved around a lot. You know what I'm saying? I spent some time out in Florida, Atlanta. But like in high school, I ended up coming back out here to Columbus, and I graduated from. So, you know, it's processes, man. It's a relatively new journey, man. You know, I haven't been doing it for that long, honestly, you know, but I had the blessing of a lifetime probably about 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Got in contact with the iconic, legendary Karyn White.
Hold on. We go. Stop. Let's stop. I want to go. Yeah. Let's slow it down. Let's we going back, man, because you're a young brother, and I never really get the opportunity to talk to young brothers like yourself who do music. So when I get this opportunity, man, I want to really tap in and talk to young brothers like yourself, man, who have something that's very different, that's very unique. I'm all about uniqueness. I'm all about, you know, somebody bringing something different to the table, and that's why you on here. You're something that I don't see very often. So with that being said, what were some of your, like, you know, what's your musical background?
Man, my musical background, like growing up, you know, of course, man, like I was born in 95. So, you know what I'm saying? I grew up on that Lauryn Hill, that Jaheim, you know, that Donnell Jones, poetry, just good music, man. It's timeless music that you would cut on today. I ain't heard it in 15 years, you know what I'm saying? But I can cut it on right now, man, and still know it verbatim, you know what I'm saying? So that's like the type of music that I grew up on, man. And even before then, you know what I'm saying? I got grandmother, grew up with my grandmother and stuff like that as well. So most definitely that 70s on up, you know, Isley Brothers, the Earth, Wind and Fire, the Switch, you know.
Man, talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, the list goes on, man. Shaka Khan, the list goes on, man. Much love to Shaka Khan. Karyn White, O'Brien, you know what I'm saying? So you and I, man, you know what I'm saying? So these is like some of that, just some of that soul, you know what I'm saying, that we grew up on, man. And I remember the music, man. As a kid, I literally remember, you know what I'm saying, being in places, like hearing songs, you know what I'm saying? 2 years old, man. I don't really remember that much, but I remember the songs. And it's to the point right now, today, man, you know what I'm saying? You'll cut on a song that came out 6 months ago, man. You know, I'm like, damn, bro, I forgot this song came out. You know what I'm saying? So the music, you know what I'm saying, it's short-lived nowadays, man. And it's I'm definitely missing something, man. So I'm trying to figure what that is and, you know what I'm saying, bring that element back, man, you know?
That's interesting that you just said that, because I always, you know, when I think of, you know, you're naming off these iconic, you know, legends, man, legendary artists, and, you know, one thing that was very special and unique about these guys, you know, they stood out. You know, Ozzy Brothers didn't sound like the OJs and vice versa. And also what you're just saying, you know, like you brought up a great point. You know, a lot of the music that we hear today is very, and I hate to say it's very forgettable, but
oh, yeah.
I always wanted from a older statesman, you know, an older brother. I wanted to know, like, I was curious, do the young people your age feel that way? And it's, you just basically, hey, you basically hit it on the head, man. Because I was curious, like, because I don't like young generation. Like, I love what a lot of you guys are doing. But you know, there's brothers like yourself. I appreciate you guys for, you know, carrying on the tradition. You know.
Yes, sir. That's love, man. And I would say that you know, a lot of times in my generation, we get a bad rap, man, just for everything that we see in the media get put on, like my generation. When in reality, you know what I'm saying, that's just what they promote a lot of the time, man. And you feel me? I go around, man, you know, I've been so many different places, like, especially like in the last couple of months and stuff like that, man. Meet so many different young dudes, man, with, you know what I'm saying, right here with it, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, it's they're trying to, at this point, man, manipulate us into, you know what I'm saying, thinking and being a certain type of way, man. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
Man, and that's facts. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I'm not Christian or anything like that. You know, if I'm Muslim, I grew up in the nation, but you know, I'm not a registered Muslim or anything like that, man. But in the scripture, you know what I'm saying, it talks about, man, there's ways there seemeth right to a man, but the ways thereof are the ways of death. You know what
exactly.
So that's our perspective on life right now, especially being young black and in America. Like, you know what I'm saying, is you not cool if you ain't, you feel me, sipping on some lean, or you know what I'm saying, take 30s to the head or something like that, you know. And so it's like the dichotomy, you know what I'm saying. We have to we just gotta be wise, man, and discern, you know what I'm saying, like use that discernment. You feel me, especially nowadays.
Okay, so you know, I'm listening to you, brother. Like I said, man, normally I don't, when I interview young artists, you know, I'm gonna be honest. I hate to say this, man. I really don't get that excited or up for artists, man. Like I am right now. Like I hate to be that guy, because I'm gonna keep it real. Like I'm always interested and thankful to have guests. I have tons of guests, but man, having you on here, brother, like for some reason, man, I was very excited on, you know, I was very excited about having you on, man. And I've interviewed 30, 40 different artists, old, new, and whatever. But looking at the aesthetic, looking at what you bring to the table, I just really wanted to talk to you, man. So I know I chopped it up with your pops, man. He seemed like a good guy from what I see. There's a lot of what you you know, a lot of what you encompass. Do you get a lot of that from your father?
Man, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, we underestimate genealogy, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't really understand the science behind genealogy, man. Just because, you know, my mom and my dad, they split, you know what I'm saying, when I was young. You feel me? So when I moved to Florida and was moving all them places, I was moving with my mom, you know what I'm saying? But when I moved back to Columbus, I was spending time with my dad, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, no matter how long you're away from, you know what I'm saying, the tree that you fall from, man, it's still going to be an apple tree when you get back to it. You know what I'm saying? And so I think some of these similarities, you know what I'm saying, especially, you know, as I'm older and, you know what I'm saying, I move around together more and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So many different similarities on how we just maneuver and how we act. And, you know, didn't have to be put there or placed there, man. It was just that genealogy code, man, you know what I'm saying, that you can't even escape, you know what I'm saying? But I love and praise my dad just for, you know, revitalizing, you know what I'm saying, just the knowledge itself into me, you know what I'm saying? Just because growing up in a mosque, you know what I'm saying, growing up in a mosque is one thing, man, but when you get to a certain age, you know what I'm saying, especially you moved away and all these other different types of things, you know, it's not real. It's not real yet. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have your own experience with it. You know what I'm saying? So you find it by yourself, man. And so that's why I'm thankful, because my dad didn't force it on me, man. He allowed me to come into it by myself. You know what I'm saying? Just dropping them. My mom, she ain't force it on me. You know what I'm saying? Because she was in the Vanguard, NGT, all that, man. And so, you know what I'm saying? But she let me come into it to myself. You know what I'm saying? So I have a great respect, you know what I'm saying, for both of my parents, man, just because they allowed me to, you know, grow into my experiences, man. And, you know, they didn't always tell me what to do or where to do it. You know what I'm saying? They allowed me to learn, you know what I'm saying? Learn life sometimes, man. That's what we need, just to learn life, man.
No doubt, no doubt. That's what's up, man. So, you know, like I said, and I hate to keep saying this, man, but just listen, you know, like I said, man, talking to a young brother like yourself, man, you bring a whole different energy from what I normally see, you know, from younger artists. And one of the things I noticed, man, like, you know, what I want to ask you is like, is this, like, when did you really start rapping? When did you realize, like, this is something that I'm good at? This is something that I need to pursue? Like, when did the rapping bug, you know, when did it bite you in?
Man, see, I always been in love with music, man. You know, I grew up, like, my dad used to have like a fake radio station type thing. You know what I'm saying? He used to do when we used to car driving to places, and he'll introduce me, and I just had to come on and spit a quick 16. Just like that, you know what I'm saying? At like 4 or 5 years old. And I had a speech impediment. So, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really saying too much, but it was just that energy and that invitation that I fell in love with, man. And so, like, through elementary school, man, I remember rapping. I remember printing out AZ lyrics just because I had to know every rap song, man. I remember printing out the AZ lyric to Trillville, some cut, you know what it is, Joe. It was the dirty version, mind you. You know, I remember my mom papers like, what is this? You know, I got cussed out.
So you wasn't listening to Bow Wow, because you know you from Columbus too, man.
Oh, man, I love Bow Wow growing up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't even sit up here in front like we didn't bang Bow Wow in the city heavy, man. We always used to bump Bow Wow, but you know what I'm saying? After a certain while, you know what I'm saying? You grow up out of that phase. Yeah, exactly. Graduate to other things. Because Bow Wow was like early 2000s, so I was like, you know, 5, 6, 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? But I've always been in love with that, just the hip hop, man. And so I feel like in high school, you know what I'm saying, I started doing it on SoundCloud a little bit with my dudes, and we'll go over to his crib. He had like a MacBook. We'll record some songs on GarageBand. We'll record like 7 songs in one day, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just write a verse song, and you know, because we was just so excited to get some music out to the city for the city to listen to and stuff like that. So that used to be a big thing, man. And so it wasn't until like college that, you know what I'm saying, after I, you know what I'm saying, matriculated out of college, man. That's a fancy way for saying, you know what I'm saying, dropping out of college, man. After I, you know, left school, I just was in some space, you know what I'm saying? I had space to create, man. And I just sat down with some beats and, you know, start writing to them. And, you know, I thought they was dope, but, you know what I'm saying, art's so subjective that, you know what I'm saying, sometimes it don't really matter what you think about it. So I sent them to my dad, you know what I'm saying? And then he was real good friends with iconic superwoman, Miss Karyn White. And so, you know, inadvertently, she ended up hearing the songs, man, and she just fell in love with that and invited me down.
How long ago was this? Because, you know.
And this, man, this is.
Because I just heard this. The first time I heard this song is when I hit you up maybe like a couple of months ago. So to me, I'm thinking like, to me, that song was like brand new. So when did you guys put that together?
The song,
the song that we're talking about is Young Righteous Black Girl. You guys gotta check this song out. It's amazing. But talk about that. Talk about you linking up with Karyn White. How did you meet the legend?
Oh, yeah, man. So it was by the grace of God, I like to say, you know what I'm saying. But my dad, you know, he's real good friends with Miss Karyn. They've been friends for years, man. And I sent my dad just some music that I was working on over the summer. This was like in August, man. And so, you know, this is all relatively new, man. She flew me out there.
So time out. You mean this past August?
This past August, family.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really God, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I sent my dad the songs in August. By September, you know, I'm on the phone with Miss Karyn. She loves the vibe. She wanted to fly me down to Atlanta so we can, you know, go to the studio and meet up. And, you know, and she just met me in person and, you know, we hit it off from there. You know what I'm saying?
I
She's
gotta
like,
stop.
oh, man.
I gotta stop you. Hold that thought. I gotta stop you.
Yes, sir.
When your father introduced you to Karyn White, did you know who she was?
I did. Like I said, you know what I'm saying? We grew up on that Quiet Storm, man. I'll be sure on the radio and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the whole vibe. So,
because you realize she is the reason why I love Chocolate Sisters, which is one of the reasons that got you here, because the video, like the young lady in the video just blew the whole, you know, the whole. It blew me away. It blew me away.
Shout out to Aaliyah, man, out of Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? Dope individual, young, beautiful model out there, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're ever out there, model for y'all's music video, Aaliyah, yes, sir. But you know what I'm saying? It was just a surreal moment, man. And a surreal feeling just running into, you know, somebody that you grew up, your parents, you feel me, was listening to.
I'm about to say, hold on. I grew up listening.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
I got the vinyl somewhere. It's somewhere. I'm saving that for the interview.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying I got the CD somewhere. I think the CD probably over there and the vinyl.
And she'll love that, man. She will love
that.
And that's the crazy thing about it.
Yes, because like when I was a kid, man, I remember when she married Terry Lewis. That broke my heart, man. That broke my heart, man. It took me 20 years to get over that, man.
Oh man.
Because I remember all that. Like, I'm old enough to remember when she came out, and you know, so I'm like, wow, you being a young cat and you link up with the legend, man. Like, how did you like, you know, keep your composure and stay composed, man, you know?
Oh, it was just, you know, and I tell her this all the time, man. I tell her, you know what I'm saying, I feel like just my life and my experiences just to this point, you know what I'm saying, just prepared me for everything, you know what I'm saying, that you giving me an opportunity to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and me, like, growing up, you know what I'm saying, like, I grew up so humble, you know, like, I had the best of both worlds, man, on both spectrums, you know what I'm saying? When I was in Florida and stuff like that, I used to back crib. My mom had a huge crib out there, you know what I'm saying? Then I moved and stuff like that, and things started to change and stuff like that. So I just adapted to understand how life is. You got ups and you got downs, you know what I'm saying? And so running into Miss Karyn, you know what I'm saying, and her, I feel like it was her who just really neutralized me at that point, because she could have been super celebrity, you know what I'm saying, type.
Yeah, talk about that. What have you learned from her since you've been, you know, since you've been a part of that you know, you guys, that whole team, you know, what have you learned?
I learned so much from her, man, so much from the team. Shout out to Supernova, shout out to everybody at Supernova, Miss Rochelle, Mr. Black Wolf, Uncle O.B. O'Brien, the legendary O'Brien, man, mine.
Whoa, you talking about O'Brien?
Talking about the legendary O'Brien, man.
Wow.
Yes, sir. You and I, yes, sir, man. You know,
man, that's
Juan C, man. So exactly, man. That's what I'm telling you, man. Like, you know, just
I'm speechless because I haven't heard from O'Brien in years, man. I would love to chop it up with that brother.
And then, you know, I got so much love for OB just because, you know, he's walked that same, you know, young artist through that industry, you know what I'm saying? And so he gives you so much insight and so much love at the same time, man. And then they listen too as well, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. Even before me coming on this podcast, me and Miss Karyn had conversations, man, just about bridging, you know what I'm saying, generations, man, like bridging the gap between the generations, because we feel like it's such a disconnect between, you know, the older generation of Black people and just understanding each other.
Hey, that's why you're here, man. Bridging the generations, man. That's what we try. That's what I'm trying to do. And brothers like yourself, man, I appreciate you guys for, you know, appreciate brothers like yourself and Mr. White and that whole team, man, for realizing that, man, because you know, you guys are the future, man, but at the same time, you know, we can't forget about the past, you know.
Oh yeah, man, and that's, you know, really get to dictate your future, man, is you know, learning from that past, man, you know what I'm saying? Because if you don't go and learn from that past, man, it just ends up the same cycle, you know what I'm saying? In the same cycle. Not saying there's anything wrong with that cycle, but you know what I'm saying? You just want to learn to be a sponge, man, and absorb. And that's anything. That's what my team reinforces, you know what I'm saying, every day, man. It's just, you know what I'm saying, be a sponge, man. Don't get too, get too into it to where you can't learn anymore, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever, you know what I'm saying? You never old enough to not want to learn, man. So
it's facts.
Yeah, man. So just keeping that energy about myself is what I love about my team, man. Because they stress that, and I just got off a conference call, but that's what inadvertently had me hop on here a little bit later than what I
it's all good
scheduled, man. But how we sometimes, you feel me, I'll forget about a damn schedule.
That's right now. See, wait till you blow up, man. You gonna forget all about me, man. You gonna be I did that little podcast.
Yeah, man. We'll mess around, bring you on, man. You know what I'm saying? This
like, what's with that? I did that. I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you, man.
Though, man. You feel me? Like, and this is real, man.
But look, this is what I want to ask you, man. This is like the $1 million question, man. I really want to ask you, man. And I asked this question to a lot of artists, man. And, and I haven't, I haven't had the opportunity to interview an artist as young as yourself. And matter of fact, you're the youngest artist I've ever had on my platform.
Oh,
but
man.
This is what I want to ask, man. Like, what made you choose this lane? Like, knowing with all the music, all the different, I don't even want to say different, knowing how the atmosphere, the musical atmosphere is today, would you choose this lane opposed to what's popular?
Man, that's a great question, man. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like a lot of young artists, man, like to choose like a popular lane, man, even though that's not them. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like it's always important to be yourself, at the end of the day, man. I remember me like first moving up, you know what I'm saying, from Florida, man, fat cribs and shit like that, moving up to Columbus, you know what I'm saying? And I was probably at the most ratchetest middle school in the city of Columbus, man, when I first moved, you know what I'm saying? Which was like a culture shock to me coming from 5th grade to 6th grade to a crazy, you know what I'm saying? I had walking around pregnant and, feel me, in my middle school. I'm like, damn, it's like that out here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what part of Florida you was at? Where you come part of Florida you was coming from?
I was coming from Sanford, bro. I was coming from Sanford. So that's like 30 minutes outside of Orlando, like Lake Mary, Sanford, you know what I'm saying? Daytona area, man. So, it's not Orlando, it's not West Orlando, it's not Miami, you know what I'm saying? It's far from it, man. And so, like, just that whole, I was like, damn, man, this, you know what I'm saying? So it just, got my perspective open to a lot of different things, man. And, you know what I'm saying? So it just allowed me to digest things and move around a little bit differently, you know what I'm saying? Understand, you know what I'm saying? Just understand, you know what I'm saying, that, you feel me, America is a vast country, man, and it's things outside of our perspective that happen in this country that we would never even, you know what I'm saying, ever believe. I was out in Beverly Hills, LA, driving through, Rodeo Drive. I'm like, damn, bro, I ain't even never heard of some of these designer stores that we passed. You know what I'm saying? So it just goes.
And you only like a few blocks from the hood.
Exactly, man. So it just go to show you just the different types of lanes in America, man. And I always felt like, I've achieved way more when I was always myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played sports, man. I sacrificed, dressing varsity my freshman year for like the first 3 games, just because I was in this program called Law and Leadership, man. We used to go to Ohio State and study like law at Moritz College of Law at Ohio State and stuff like that. And they did public speaking and all these other things, man. And I could have just went and strictly did 2 a days like everybody else, but you feel me? I had to diversify myself. You feel me? Like, it's not, sometimes it's not about, you know what I'm saying, what everybody else is doing. Is what's better for you at the end of the day, man. And so,
no doubt.
I mean, this is the lane that I don't want to advertise anything else other than empowerment, you know what I'm saying? Just good time, you feel me? Positive energy, man, at the end of the day. Because
this is really who you are. So this is really who you are. This is not just, just some vision of someone else.
Yeah, no, and granted, I don't want people to, confuse or misconstrue what I'm saying. Like, I'm not perfect. I smoke weed, you know what I'm saying?
No, well, ain't nothing wrong with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to build and paint that.
No, it's all good.
But you know, man, it's like, but at the end of the day, you feel me? I take more pride in riding with people that look like me, to riding on them. You know what I'm saying? So
you striving. We all striving, man, to be better.
Striving, man. That's all you can do, man. And so I want to show that through the music. You know what I'm saying? Just because I got nieces too, man. I got nieces. They was hit me up, asking me like, oh, I had told them something, played on my Young Righteous Black Girl song, and they hit me with the uncle. You know, why wouldn't I want to be white? You know what I'm saying? Damn. And my nieces is 7 and 8 years old, man. Granted, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And it just shows you the programming that's going on at that age. You know what I'm saying? We sending them to school 8 hours out the day, and then they come home, they watch TV for another 8 hours. And
I had to tell my daughter, man, not to cut you off, but I had to tell my daughter, I was like, hey, baby girl, you can't watch no more JoJo Siwa no more.
Man, and that's
like,
my niece.
I just found out that she came out and all this. I'm like, baby girl, like I know we live a very comfortable life, and you don't have to go through the struggles and the things that I've had to go through. But at the same time, I need you to know who you are. You know, you need to know where you come from and your lineage, like you were saying earlier, man. We got to know who we are as people, man. So, you know, that brings me to the, young, righteous Black girl, man. What led you to make that specific song? What was the inspiration, Because you touched on it, but let's go in. Let's talk about that. Because that's a very powerful song, man. Like when I look at music, there's so much music that comes out, so much music consumed. But a song like that, I feel like with the visuals and the music, everything, it can stand on its own as a single. So let's go in, man. Let's talk about that particular song right there, man. Let's go.
Yeah, man. And that's what I love about just the reception that it's been getting so far, man. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's so subjective. I wrote a song, Young Righteous Black Girl, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, this is dope. This is powerful. This, are people ready for a song like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we ready to like sit down and listen to Black women being praised, and you know what I'm saying, Black people being praised, and Africa being praised in that sense? And it really came down from, me being such a history buff, man, falling in love with history, saying throughout school. That was my favorite subject. And when I fell in love with history, man, I learned more about myself, and it gave me a chance to fall back in love with myself again, man. Because mind you, I grew up in a nation, but, we moved away, man, and it was just that phase of just growing up in that demographic like Florida, and growing up around, those type of cribs, man, and stuff like that, not seeing yourself, live that type of life for real. So, you get a type of a resentment for yourself. So I had to come into a knowledge of self again, man. Early high school that forced me to fall in love with myself again. So in that, I feel like, we got so many female tracks out here. We don't rarely see a track that's, praising females on that spiritual, mental level. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, bro, I'm gonna keep it honest with you, bro. We don't see it at all, bro. You said rarely, brother. We don't. I gotta touch on
the 0.999% of songs is like that out there.
We don't. Like I said, my reference is wide. I hate to be that guy that flexes his age and all that, but I've been around for a minute. I don't see it, brother. I'm tapped into what's going on. I don't see it. So talk about it, bro. I'm sorry. I had to stop you right there, man.
You're absolutely right, man. And because a lot of the times we feel this female empowering songs are like, and not to say they aren't, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a female, so I can't tell you, you know what I'm saying, what's going to empower them. I don't want to step into that lane, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of times we see it as, just them just praising the physical aspect about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so much more to you at the end of the day. And so that's what YRBG is not to knock WAP. It's not to knock, you know what I'm saying, any, other song out there that's talking about Black women and stuff like that. But it's to give them that alternative to see themselves in that other light, you know what I'm saying? Because we need a balance at this point in time, man. You know what I'm saying? I just can't have you know what I'm saying? I was in Atlanta, man. They was playing like election time, man. And damn Democrats ran a commercial with nothing but strippers on the commercial like with vote on
Yo, come on, you know why they do that. You know why.
Yeah. So I'm saying though, you know, we got to give them that alternative. If the politicians ain't even gonna give them the alternative to look at themselves through different scope, we got to be the ones to do it, especially being independent artists, man. And so that's why I praise the label. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Supernova. It's much love to Miss Karyn White for, you know what I'm saying, just the artists like myself with the mess. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, who's trying to do that nowadays, man? No, you know, so that speaks to their character. That speaks to their, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
You know, that they would even take that.
Okay, so you brought that song to them, and then they saw the vision. Like, you know, as far as like, did they initially share this vision? How was it you brought the song to them?
Yes, so I mean,
like, tell me, let's walk me through this. Walk them on.
So that was,
I said, brother, we about to go in, brother, because the song that you have is, to me, man, it's a very monumental song, man. I love everything about it, man. And you remind me like a younger version. I don't know if you old enough to remember this guy. Miss Karyn definitely does, but Father MC. You know, like Father MC, he was dope. I just interviewed him. When you ever get a chance to Google him, I want you to go in. I want you to go in on this song, because I feel like what you're doing, you're making it cool to be able to show love and pay homage to our Black women without putting them down, you know. So walk me through this, man, as far as like you putting this song together, and how did you present it to them? Were you already with them? I know you guys just start working this past summer. Let's talk about it. Walk me through it.
So over this, like when I told you I sent some songs to my dad, and you know, said she eventually invited me down. YRBG was the song that got me the invite, you know what I'm saying? So Young Righteous Black Girl was most definitely the song that got me the invitation to come and meet a Miss Karyn White, and to you know, come and, you know, pitch an idea to a Supernova. You know what I mean? For them to bring me on. So YRBG was, you know what I'm saying, was that Willy Wonka golden ticket, man, that got me in the door to meet Willy Wonka down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was this song praising, and rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? You got Superwoman, why not? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And so it was only right at that point in time, man. And so that's literally how it was set up. And I want
to stop you again. I want to just real quick. Don't forget what you're about to say.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I want to stop you. Now, when you put out the song, did you guys already have the visuals and all of that, the concept as far as the aesthetics? Was that already together?
No, sir, man, not at all. So when we put out the when I showed them the song and let them hear the song and stuff like that, you know, I hadn't thought of any visuals. You know what I'm saying? I was just I literally made a song on my laptop in the closet, man, like in the crib, like, you know, as low budget as it gets, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's not
what we're hearing is that actual recording.
No, what y'all hearing is you know, I went to the studio and did it in the studio after I met a Miss Karyn White. But, you know, when I presented it to her, it was something that I had worked on my garage band. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, real low scale, man. And so she brought that production level out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just get me in the studio with some real, like, producers that's really experienced in, you know, in Atlanta.
Who produced that?
So, man, the track was actually produced by Chris Styles out in Sacramento, Sacktown, and Bobby Guitar. You know what I'm saying? My dude, Bobby Guitar, the OG, the legend, man, one of the coldest guitarists out there out in LA, man. So, you know, those two guys, you know what I'm saying, really helped me out with and they've done so many more tracks, man, that I can't wait for y'all to hear, man. But they really helped me out with that YRBG track that y'all do here.
No doubt, man. So, like I said, I remember, you know, as I've heard this song probably like 100 times. It's one of those type of songs, because, like, you know, my fiance, I have a daughter. So it's a song that, you know, I feel that, you know, Black men can be able to share with their women, and vice versa. So with that being said, like, when you brought that song, you know, to Mrs. White, you had this one line where you say, if the hair ain't nappy, I don't even want to. So knowing who Karyn White is, and knowing that she has reached, like, pop stardom, and
Most definitely.
you know, she's seen it all. It's nothing that she hadn't seen in the business. But
Definitely.
how was she when you mentioned when you got to that part right there? What was her response? You know,
Man, I feel like that's probably one of her favorite verses out of the song right there. That specific line. If they,
but you know, we look at Karyn White, we look at her as like superstar Karyn White, you know, like
yeah,
some,
exactly.
you know, Terry Lewis, like we look at her as just prissy, whatever, you know, outside. Like, we don't know
till you get around her. You know, I feel like, you know, she's reminiscent of like an aunt that I have, you know what I'm saying, out here in the city, man, or, you know, like that's how I can relate her, just because, like, you know, she's out the window.
So she didn't have no problem with that part.
She had no problem with that part at all, man. And granted, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, like,
that's what's
up.
Know,
she it's a whole different, you know, branding, whole different, you know, generation, of course, and stuff like that, man. But like she felt the vibe and understood the message behind that, man. So she loved that aspect of the song, you know what I'm saying? And because she got young righteous black girls as daughters, nieces, you know, things along that line, man. So she, you feel me? What else could she say? You know, that's what she told me, man. What I could not like the song. So it was really a blessing that everything fell into place like that.
Now I was watching. You just was on, you know, one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite groups of all time, Brand Nubian. I recently saw you on the Godcast with Lord Jamal. Shout out Lord Jamal, the OG. God, yeah. And I remember you had this, you know, you guys was talking about, you know, this you guys were talking about as far as, you know, women empowerment. So what is your take on that? Because a lot of people, they'll see that video and they'll, you know, you can interpret that video. It's nothing but positivity. First of all, let me say that. First of all, it's nothing but positivity in that song, in the video. But you mentioned that this is not just an empowerment for women as far as doing whatever you wanted to do or whatever. So I want you to touch on that. Break that down, because you know, I like the way you insinuated. I like what you was insinuating.
Yeah, yes, sir, man. So I was really just breaking down just the how we view feminism nowadays, man, and modern day feminism, especially in America. And it's really not too much of you know what I'm saying, praising the female mental prowess, or, you know what I'm saying, or the spiritual prowess, but we're more so, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know, praise the even praise, but we're trying to just showcase, you know what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of the time feminism today in America gets passed off as being women being able to walk down the street butt naked, man. I seen this one march that they had, this protest, it was free the nipple or something like that. So it was a bunch of women outside.
What's it called? The slut walk. You heard of that one?
They got the slut walk as well, man. And so, you know, my whole thing is, why, you know what I'm saying, why does that have to be the only form of female empowerment that we think of? And as well as, you know, I mean, because I feel like a lot of times it's a lot of entertainers that think of these female empowerment movements, which is, you know, more power to them just because they're thinking about empowering women. But, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times they're already over-sexualized. And so rarely we ever see, you know what I'm saying, some politicians coming up with like, oh, let's empower, you know what I'm saying, female, you feel me? They want to take away things from women more so when they politicians and stuff like that, man. And so it's like, we just really got to understand, just because he want to, you know, they're allowing you to walk outside butt naked, that's not really helping you in the long run. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of weirdos out here that can't wait for you to attend that type of protest. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey man, this is what I'm talking. This is why you here, brother. This is why I was excited to have you here, man. Like, I knew it was going to be special. Like I said, I talked to all the legends that I want to talk to, but hearing this young brother as yourself, man, is so refreshing, and I know there's hope for the future, man. Because it got to a point where I'm just like, I gave up. I pretty much gave up. But you know, like, and then the thing about it is, like, there's a lot of dope young artists. Let's not misconstrue what I'm saying.
Yeah, yes, sir.
But I haven't seen young artists bring what you're bringing to the table as far as talent and content and substance, and from a spiritual aspect. And like you guys were talking about in the interview, you're making it cool, because if you do whack music, it doesn't matter what so break that down to me, man. Talk about that.
Oh man, yeah, and that's the whole lane, you know, because I don't want to get into branding myself. I like, you know what I'm saying, other people could call me a conscious rapper, that's cool, you know what I'm saying, but I look at myself as just a rapper.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
No, not saying you said that, but I was just about to.
No, I don't want. Let's make this disclaimer.
Yeah.
The brother has substance in his music. He has great content, but I'm not labeling you. Now,
oh no, yeah, no.
You are in a certain lane. You are in a certain lane, though. You do know you're in a certain lane, and that lane is not that many people in your lane. Matter of fact, it's almost it's pretty much your lane to lead, brother. I don't know if you know that.
Man, that's powerful, man, and that's what I love, especially just about the freedom of just writing music, man. It's like you could really, you know, and it's not even writing music, just art in general, bro. You can really create and make manifest what you want to make manifest, man, in the light that you want to do it in, man. As long as you can believe in it, as long as you can see it. So that's my whole thing, like with the music, that I ain't want to get into the space of just making positive music just to make positive music. Like, no, you know, if I could stay in school for all that, man, you know what I'm saying? And that's just not, you know, that's not going to carry on long, just because I know the today's world, man, doesn't fuel itself off of positive energy. You got to have something else behind that. You know what I'm saying? Got to be catchy. You got to be groove. You know what I'm saying? Got to have some type of bounce, some type of vibe to it, man. And so, you know, I like to, you know, look at myself as a rapper who's conscious. You know what I'm saying? Just because when you conscious, it's hard to turn back on that and go start talking about other things, man. Start trying to be.
That's facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you know what I mean?
You already have that knowledge of self. You already have that, and it's hard to, you know, it's almost like being in a room with an elephant and not realizing it's there.
Yeah, or being Eve, you know what I'm saying, and taking a bite of the apple and realizing you got clothes on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go back to not walking around butt naked now. You know what I'm saying? So that's the you know what I'm saying, that's the mindset of it, for real, man. And so, you know, what Lord Jamar had touched on was dope though, because he said he hit it on that nail on the coffin with it, man. He said, you know, even if it's positive, if it's still whack, nobody, you know what I'm saying, nobody gonna mess with it, man. And that's
exactly,
and that's true, man. 'Cause I hear so much good songs, positive, man, from so many dope artists that's underground, that's, you know what I'm saying, trying to spread a dope message, you know what I'm saying, but it just doesn't carry that far, just because, you know, it just get lost in the being positive
in the music.
The song gets lost. So
or you know what, the thing about it, what I want to allude to is you're making a conscious / positive song with substance, but you're making it look cool. You're making it, matter of fact, not look cool. You're showing that it is cool. And it doesn't matter if you make positive or conscious music or whatever. If the shit ain't dope, it ain't dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what you're doing, you're putting, you're bringing, you know, you're putting it all together. You're giving you're cultivating something that's very unique. You know what I'm saying?
That's love, man. And that's something that you got to just be comfortable with yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, any advice to young artists, man, and just young people in general, man, just get comfortable and, you know, with yourself. You got to know yourself first. So you got to get that knowledge yourself, honestly, because that's, you know, we can't not have the knowledge itself and expect to have everything else mentally in order. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the foundation is just not going to add up, honestly. And so, you know, unless that, we can't get the other. And so I had to get myself right mentally before, you know what I'm saying, I can get on this whole, you know what I'm saying, new move of music that I was trying to do. If you listen to like music that I was writing in middle school, early high school, you feel me? That you can't differentiate that, and you know what I'm saying, some Pee Wee Longway. You know what I'm saying? It go hand in hand. Like, you feel me? I was no different from everything else that I hear nowadays. So it was just, you know, I had to get comfortable with myself, but first I had to learn myself first. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, we got to give ourselves the opportunity to do that, man. And you know, we don't never want to get into a space to where we feel like we too old to, you know, learning about ourselves, because, you know what I'm saying, it's not, feel me, one young righteous black girl, I got this I say that you know, we all niggas just dealing with 400 years of death and oppression. You know what I'm saying? So we can't be too hard on ourselves for the tools that we're lacking. But if we're not, you know what I'm saying, willing to get them tools for ourselves right now, knowing that we're missing them, then that's when we have to get them ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. You know, like you said, when you spoke about the 400 years of oppression, which is in the song, a lot of us we fail to realize that we as Black people have been through social engineering. Not to be too preachy or whatever, but you know, we have dealt with social engineering and things of that nature, and brainwashing, Willie Lynch syndrome. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of the things, like you said, man, we're just not privy to. We're just ignorant to, and we're conditioned to passing these things down to each other because this was what the slave master, how he treated us. So we just subconsciously passed that down to the next generation, and now we got brothers like yourself that's taking off the shackles of that wisdom and that knowledge, man, and able to like, yo, we not rocking like that no more. You know,
man, all praises due, man. I can't say that enough, man. All praises due, man. Just, you know, because God is real, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not no preacher or no preachy. I don't, you feel me? I don't go to the mosque like that. I should, you know what I'm saying? I don't. But you know, God is real, man. And I pray a lot, though. You feel me? I'm most definitely in tune and in touch with Him. You know what I'm saying? And so at the beginning of last year, man, 2020, before, you know what I'm saying, any of this stuff even started, I literally, bro, I swear to God, I sat down, man, one night and I said a prayer. I just asked Him, man, if He could put me in a position to create, you know what I'm saying, stuff using my mind, you know what I'm saying, and make a living for myself like that. And then, man, not even a year later, man, I'm, you know, on the phone with Karyn White saying that she want to sign me to her new label and stuff like that, man. So it's really, you know what I'm saying, it's power, man. And
wow, I had no idea. That's crazy.
And we got to speak his stuff into existence, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, because we speak a lot of negative stuff into existence, not without realizing that we do. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to take that step back, man, and speak our, you know what I'm saying, the life that we want to live into existence, man. And everything up to this point has been a true testimony, man. Just because I swear, man, when I said that prayer at the beginning of last year, the dominoes just started getting knocked down, man. But I had to go into the studio and I had to lock myself in the room and do 3 songs a day, you know what I'm saying? And chop up the songs that I didn't like and keep the songs that I did, man. And that's the catalog that I showed to Miss Karyn. And you feel me? So it's most definitely some work behind that, man. But, you know, we got to start somewhere.
Okay. So speaking of songs, man, now you just recently dropped your second single. It's called Apparatus. Now, again, walk me through this one. Walk me through this one, because you went in a slightly different direction on this song right here. Talk about this one.
So Everlasting Thought, man, is really, man, it's an anthem.
I apologize. The title is Everlasting Thought.
Yes, sir. The music video, we were stuck in the apparatus though. So you was on the head with it right there. Yeah. The music video, it's like a movie though. The music video, man, it's really like its own separate entity, which is dope though. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not the first person that, you know what I'm saying, to refer to it like that. And I don't take no offense to it, big, not at all, man. But it's really like a anthem, man, just for a lot of us growing up in that inner city, especially being a young Black male, just, you know what I'm saying, having to deal with everything, you know what I'm saying, the prior generations have been through, man. So that's why it's an everlasting thought, because it's nothing new, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we in such a new age of information, you know what I'm saying? We got Facebook and, you know, all these other different types of things, distractions. So you're trying to maintain, you know, all these things in an oppressive society and still, you know, love women and still, you know what I'm saying, live a normal type of life, you know what I'm saying? So Everlasting Thought is that, you know, is that anthem, man, is a testament to that. And that's why at the end we got a loop, you know what I'm saying, with you got to keep moving. You got to keep moving. You got to keep, you know what I'm saying, just because at the end of the day, that's all we, you know, can do. And that's what we should be doing. We never want to stay stagnant, man, you know, because there's so many people, man, that I seen that I went to like middle school with, high school with, you know what I'm saying? And I look at them now, we the same age, man, but they look 5 years older than me, you know what I'm saying? And they just not really, you know what I'm saying?
Wait till you get in your 40s.
Hey, man, for real. For real, man.
Wait till you get in your 40s.
And life is a motherfucker, like man. I'm saying, it's a love, man. You know what I'm saying? So I can never like a demo, but you know what I'm saying? I never want to settle with that energy, man. And so that's why I'm glad that I was, you know, blessed with a warrior energy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been down at the bottom a few times, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you know, but I always seem to find a way to reinvent, man. And God always blessed me with a way to reinvent myself, you know what I'm saying? And so that's
right.
a blessing in it all.
So look, the visuals, man. I got to speak on these visuals, man.
Yeah.
These concepts, the visuals, man. Now, who's the brainchild of this? Like, where does this come from?
Man, so I actually wrote the script. I wrote the treatment for it.
And again, hold on, I got to stop you again. Akbar's father, man, is a director / producer / everything, author. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like, and he's also featured in the video.
Yeah.
And the brother I'm talking about is brother Derek Muhammad. You know, he plays the Morpheus-like character that's in the video. Also got a dope movie out with Karyn White. You guys need to check that out. But yeah, so yeah. So I wanna touch on that. You know, again, where do these concepts come from, brother?
Yeah, man. Well, see, with me, man, you know, I like to I never like been short on creativity, and you know, so I used to be in class just drawing while the teacher was teaching and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying, with the everlasting thought concept, you know what I'm saying, me and my dad, you know what I'm saying, really helped me, you know what I'm saying, me and him pieced it together piece by piece. Well, you know what I'm saying, with the concept of the matrix and stuff like that. And and there, you know, we got the dialogue out, and I just got the, you know, the concept out for it, basically, man. And it was just a blessing working with shout out to Shiraz Belushi, you know what I'm saying, young director out of LA, who really helped capture the visuals with it, man. Editing for it and all, you know what I'm saying? So it was a culmination of all these things, man. And just having a team, you know what I'm saying, that allows you to be creative, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't want you to, you know, limit yourself creative wise. And so, you know, I just it's a big blessing for that, man. And I can't wait for y'all to you know, go check out that video, man. It's on my YouTube, it's on my Instagram.
It's dope.
Akbar The Great. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you.
So look, I noticed earlier, man, you mentioned, you know, about balance, man, you know, and I remember when I was younger, man, you used to have this amazing balance, man, on the radio, whereas you had rappers that was in your lane who can talk, you know, music with substance. I'll just say that. But then you also had the gangster shit that I used to like Snoop and all of that. I loved all that, you know, so. Yeah. What do you feel? Do you feel like in today's climate that we can have an artist like you? Do you honestly and genuinely feel in today's climate that we can have a balance? Because you don't really need the radio. It's great to have it, but do you see that? Do you see that coming back? And man, do you feel like we can have it?
I honestly do, man. I honestly do feel like it's not because they wanted to. Because we wanted to, man. At the end of the day, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, our energy is leaning more towards just.
Now hold on. When you say we, what do you mean we?
Talking about, yeah, we as the people, we as, you know what I'm saying, especially being black people in the country controlling the culture, you know what I'm saying, we, you know, are, you know what I'm saying, we really want that type of, that sound, that type of movement to come back in the music, man, you know what I'm saying, and like just the out, you know what I'm saying, the DMs that I get, man, on the daily, man, is a testament to that, for real. Just people my age, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, a lot of the times, man, this is like I said, we get the bad rap just for, you know, adapting to the lower frequency things that they give to us nowadays. You know what I'm saying? When I was coming out of high school, the you know, the drill scene and like Chicago was, you know what I'm saying, a heavy thing to go listen to. So you had the Chief Keef, the King Von. I listened to all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like I was a fan in high school. You know, so I can't even sit up and make it, because I know like the energy that they built up around that. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the media energy that they built up around that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, you know, us being so socially engineered that now, you know what I'm saying, us being wise, we gotta re-engineer culture, you know what I'm saying? So we got to re-socially engineer the culture. So like you said, you know what I'm saying, we got to repackage a good message and make it look cool, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what it is with me. Like, I felt like, you know what I'm saying, I was a nigga, man, in middle school. Everybody was wearing baggy pants, plaid shorts and stuff like that. I was walking around with Hot Topic black jeans on, man, through the, you know what I'm saying, black skinny.
I don't know what that is.
Oh man, it's like skinny jeans. I'm talking about like, but you know when skinny jeans like first before they even really came out for real on the scene, man. You know what I'm saying? I was walking around in middle school with my skinny jeans on, man, and I really didn't care what niggas had to say about it, just because like that, you know what I'm saying? And what was niggas about to say? You know what I'm saying? What was niggas about to say about it? Anyway, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like,
and fast forward to 2020, 2021.
yeah, man. So it's just being comfortable with yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, like, thank God for, you know, and just put me in situations to where, you know, now I can look at things through a straight and narrow, you know what I'm saying, and see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Just my experiences up to this point, man.
Okay. So what is the, you know, what's your take on, you know, like the rap game today from a young brother's perspective? You know, I know that you mentioned a lot of, you know, you mentioned King Von and you mentioned, you know, Chief Keef and all that. What's your perspective? What's the perspective and how do you see the rap industry as a young 25-year-old kid, you know, young man, I apologize.
Man, my perspective of the rap industry now, man, it's so diverse, man. I will say that, man. It's probably the most diverse it's ever been at this point.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Rappers is out here that sound like, you know, you about to go to a rock concert and stuff, but it's still a rap song, you know. So many different sub genres of the music nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I love about it, just because you can venture off creativity wise. And I feel like, you know, it's not everybody's place to speak on some deep, knowledgeable type things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
say that again.
You know,
say that again.
I want to hear Sugar Hill Gang and Big Daddy Kane collab and do, you know what I'm saying? It's just two different lanes. You know what I'm saying? But it's just completely two different lanes.
Hold on. Hey, you gotta check out Father M. Ask Miss White or
I do. Now you said that.
Father MC, man. Brother, I just interviewed him last week, but when I was a kid, just think of whatever pop. I'm gonna be honest, man. You the closest thing to that. Like he was what you are doing, but he was like popular. Like he had the hits and everything. So what I'm trying to say is, I haven't seen what you're doing since him.
Yeah.
And we're talking. And listen. But hold on. We're talking 30 years. We talking almost. He came out around 90, 91, and. You know, but again, he made it look cool, and it's just ever since then I haven't seen that. But the thing that stands out about you come at it from a spiritual perspective. Like his was fly and cool and all that, which is it's dope. It's still dope. But you come from it at a spiritual perspective, and you come at it from a, you know, the Afrocentric perspective. You know what I'm saying? So. That's what separates you guys. Both of you guys are dope as hell. But you guys are also
with him, man. To be even mentioned with him, man. Much praises to the God, man. Father MC.
Ask your pops about him. Tell Father MC was that guy. He was that guy, man. You know. So what's you know, as we going into, we started 2021 off, man. You know, what's the vision, man? What's the vision for the whole Supernova team and Akbar The Great? What we got, you know,
man,
what we got coming?
We got a lot, man. We got some work coming for y'all, man. I feel like everybody on the team is dedicated this 2021 to work. You know what I'm saying? They seen 2020, they seen the fruits that, you know what I'm saying, was garnished from that whole movement just at the end of it. And so, you know what I'm saying, we really put in an overdrive right now. So right now, man, we you know, we love Young Righteous Black Girl. I love Young Righteous Black Girl to the death, man. And so I'm planning on doing a remix right now, man. You know what I'm saying? A little new spin on Young Righteous Black Girl. I can't wait for y'all to hear that one and check that one out, man, with a visual. You know what I'm saying? So we aiming for something along the lines in February, man, Black History Month for that. And as long, yeah, man. And as well, I got mixtape, man, that I'm working on right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Wrapping up fourth quarter in. So I really can't wait for y'all to, you know what I'm saying, just hear that, man. And, you know what I'm saying, each of these songs, man, is really like, you know what I'm saying, just my artistic expression just on some mixtape vibes, though. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to give it too EP-ish or, you know what I'm saying, too album-y, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to just save that and just, you know what I'm saying, just give some free expressions off with this mixtape. And so we got a visual with that, man. I, you know what I'm saying, wrote a little short film that we're going to be shooting out in the A, you know what I'm saying, pretty soon. So I really can't wait for y'all to see it and check that out as well, man. So, you know, we got a lot of little things that we've been working on, man. A lot of little things, man. I ended up getting a dog. I ended up getting a dog today, man, too. So, up to that.
Shout out the dog, man. Shout out the dog.
My girl, Shabazz, man. Shout out to Shabazz.
Okay.
Shabazz,
the nation. Yes, okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So look, you mentioned, like I said, you got the 2 singles out. You talk about the mixtape, and you know, do you, with all the music that's coming out, do you feel like artists should release, you know, so much music? You know, should they oversaturate the market? Because I like one thing that stood out again. There's another thing that stood out to me about you is you dropped the 2 dope songs with 2 dope concepts. But you gave us visuals. So I'm thinking, you know, I feel like, I'm gonna be honest, this is my opinion. This may your team and you may think differently. But I was looking at it like, man, the type of music that you're making is soul food. You don't have to just hit us over the head. Like I can, you know, I don't need 1,000 tracks from Akbar. Like one of your songs, if it's anything remotely close to that, it's going to be able to carry over into the next single, into the next EP, to the next album. So what's the rollout? You know, what's the rollout, and how do you feel about artists, how they release music today? Because I know you tapped into that.
Oh yeah, man. Like I'm big on hip hop. Love it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I love new artists and like discovering new artists, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm heavy on, I feel like my 2019 all the way up till now, man, I've been heavy on the Freddie Gibbs, you know what I'm saying? Like the bump, you know what I'm saying? Heavy on the Freddie Gibbs just because I just love like the formula that he came out, you know what I'm saying?
You just getting hip to Freddie.
So I'm not getting hip to. I was hip to Freddie, man, on that double XL 2010 class. Him, Nip, Big Sean. I remember, you know what I'm saying? I remember that class. I remember Freddie, man. But, you know what I'm saying? After that, like, I wasn't really listening to him like I do, you know what I'm saying, now since 20, you know, into 2018.
You older. You 2010. What are you, like, 15? Yeah. So, yeah.
Exactly. So now it's just like, man. And then you feel me, there's just creativity on that thing, man. So much love to Freddie Gibbs.
But no, this is what I'm trying to ask you. Like, how do you feel as far as artists releasing so much music? You know, like, because it seemed like you dropped 2, like as of right now, all we really know from you is the 2 singles. But what I'm saying is, like, that's how it was back in the day. Like you came out with 2 dope singles, and that held us over until the album came out. Now, it seemed like, again, this is from me being a little older, but I've seen how it was and how it is now, and it seemed like artists are just releasing so much music. So what I'm saying is, do you plan on doing that, or are you gonna continue to roll out like, you know, like you're doing now? Because I feel like, me, again, my opinion, I don't feel you have to. But if you want, hey, it's your career, it's, you know, because you gave me 2 dope songs that have substance in it. I can play over and over again. A lot of times I feel like when artists release so much music, man, a lot of it gets lost. You gave me something I can focus on. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you gave me 2 dope songs that I can focus on. And then you could come out with an EP or album, whatever, and then I can just focus on that. And then that's just, look, I'm not your manager, nothing, like, I'm just saying, like, this is how I do music. Because I interview a lot of artists, man, and that's just my opinion. Your opinion may be different. Your team's opinion may be different. That's just how I feel. But but look, the thing about it, you have to make good music, and I say that because you make good music based on what that sample size of what you have released. Based on the sample size of what you have released, I can see you. I can wait till you drop a project. You're building an anticipation. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to hit us over the head because you're giving us substance. You constantly give us. You're not just giving us cotton candy music where we tasting it. And it tastes good for a second, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, sir. And that's what the main thing is, man. I don't want to get into the habit of like releasing a song or a new mixtape every 2 weeks, or you know what I'm saying? Because I know how dudes is out here, like, and a lot of the music is, like you said at the beginning, man. Some music, a lot of it is forgettable. You feel me? So they gotta remind niggas that they still rapping.
Yeah.
And, hey, bro, I still gotta mix that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time.
I didn't mean to be so long-winded either. I apologize.
Oh no, you good, bro. And I was gonna say, but at the same time, I am like, a young artist is still trying to get his name out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm still trying to, and so what I'm saying, I want to have just a catalog, and not even, not for it to be even too long or anything like that. But I do want to have, because I feel like YRBG. I feel like Everlasting Thought are great songs. It's gonna pulls people in. You know what I'm saying? People get pulled in, and the next question they ask me is like, "Damn, you know what I'm saying? You got some more music, bro? You feel me? Where can I find some?" You know what I'm saying? So I most definitely, and that's when I said like for this mixtape, because I'm not big. I was planning on working on the EP. You know what I'm saying? Just working on the EP. I wasn't planning on doing no mixtape, but I really just wanted to do this for the people who just been supporting me up until this point, man. You know what I'm saying? For the people, the fans out there, the supporters that's been showing love. I just wanted to give them, something to feed on, man, because I just know, I get people hit me up in the DMs, so damn, bro, you got some projects you can send me and stuff like that. So, this is more so, just that, a little project for them, man, a little project for, thanking them to getting us to the point that we are today, right now. So it's most definitely love, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear, everything that we've been working on with this project too, man. It's going to be better.
So you got, I noticed we mentioned earlier, man, social media and the internet. How do you navigate through all that, man? This is this is y'all era, man. Like you guys were born into this, man. Like y'all, now we all, no pun intended, but we all are in the matrix now. As far as like we have to deal with internet, social media, like we, you know what I'm saying? So how do you navigate and stay grounded and not, having how can I put it? Not having the feeling like you have to cop chase. I just put it like that, because a lot of people are doing that type of shit to get popping, but you seem to be going about it in a different way. What's your take on social media?
Man, I just social media, man, it's a powerful tool, man. I will say that, man, and it can be a blessing and a curse for real, man. Because a lot of mugs, man, only cool. You feel me? You get some people that's only cool on social media, man. And you meet them in real life, you know what I'm saying? And they're a whole completely different mug, you know what I'm saying? So,
hold on, you've experienced that yet? You experienced it yet? You see it?
I grew up with social media, so I grew up meeting and running into chicks that I met on social media that I thought was gonna be one way, and then I met them, and I'm like, damn, you feel me? You should have advertised that one, you know what I'm saying? Like, but that's real life though. And so, I feel like it's a lot of, especially today, man, on social media, man. The higher up you go, I feel like the more you see it too, man. You know what I'm saying? More followers a mug has sometimes be the most weirded out people. So. I just most definitely want to stay grounded in reality too, man. Just because sometimes, we get so caught up in social media and forget that, it only exists on your phone.
Hold on. Time out. Say that again. That again.
I said, man, sometimes, man, we get so caught up in the social media, man, that we forget that it only exists on your phone. You know what I'm saying? And that outside of your phone, you got to actually walk around and maneuver and know how to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? And everybody ain't gonna ask you. You got IG.
I gotta sit up for this one right here. I gotta sit up for. Hey, brother. Hey, that's real right there, man. A lot of people need to hear that, man.
Hey, man, because I grew up like in a perfect time, man. Where majority of my childhood, man, we ain't have social media. You know what I'm saying? Like towards the end of it, we got MySpace and you know what I'm saying, and then Facebook came when I was like in middle school and stuff like that. We was probably out
You're making me feel old, brother. You making me feel because when I was your age, man, yo, it was none of this, bro. Like,
you see what I'm saying, man?
We had Black Planet, bro. We had AOL.
I remember that. I remember black people meet. I think my dad had a Black Planet thing, man, that he used to be on heavy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Hey, man, I remember all the phases, man. I remember all the phases. So I'm just, you know what I'm saying? We say that to say that, you know, it's a great tool to use as marketing, to use as street, but you got to use it as that tool, man. And you can't allow it to use you and allow it to build up some false facade in your head. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, having 3,000 followers on IG don't mean 3,000 people gonna show up to an Akbar tour, you know what I'm saying, to an Akbar concert. You feel me? That's a whole different story. So, you know what I'm saying? I just want to use that as a tool, man, and still remain myself outside of the social media, man. And so, you know, it's just finding a balance, man. And I still got to get more acclimated with it. I got to start going live more on my social media and stuff like that, man. But you know what I'm saying? It's just stuff I got to get acclimated to because I was never heavy on the social media. Like, you know, I was more in the female spot. I like to talk to her face to face. I really like, you know, all that.
It is what I've noticed. Again, just, you know, being a little older, I've noticed that we have become socially awkward, you know, with social media. A lot of, you know, like a lot of the young women or young brothers, you know, we don't know how to talk to each other, you know, like we don't know how to, you know, approach. We don't know how to approach. Like if you see a young brother, he don't know how to approach a young sister, or a young sister, she don't know how to be approached from a young man, you know.
Or what exactly, what that looks like, what that feels like, what that sounds like. And so you know what I'm saying? We put up with a lot of like mistreatment just because we used to be mistreated. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's from the young to the old, man. We grow up in these toxic relationships thinking that's normal. You know, and so it's just.
I don't think you realize what you're doing, brother. I don't think you realize how impactful and how important, man, what you're embarking on, brother. Like, I know you got a team and everything behind you, and that's great. But, brother, you are doing something that's really special, brother. I want you to know that, brother. You're doing something like, bro, like I said, I got a little daughter, man. She's 9 years old, about to be 10. And I let her watch your video, man. And it really, things like that are going to start shaping our young girls and young boys, you know, their mind. And that's what we need. You know, we need more. We need a balance. Like, I don't have a problem with WAP. I don't have a problem with it, to be honest. There's a time and place for everything.
Exactly.
There's a time and a place for everything. I want, you know, in closed doors, I want my woman to be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I need that type of energy.
I need that type of, you understand. So but as a man and someone who represents me as a black man, this is what I need from my woman. And this, as a black man, this is what I feel I should be giving my queen. And you brought that, the way you was talking to her, the way she looked at, like, the whole vibe, man. It's just special, man. It's beautiful, brother. I'm honored to be able to let you know that, man. And hey, I'm looking forward to a lot of great things from you, brother. And I want you to know, man. I want you to know that, bro. Like, you're embarking on something really, really special, bro.
I appreciate that, family, man. And like, you know, man, that's why, you know what I'm saying, God is good, man. You know, like, I asked him for that opportunity, man. You know what I'm saying? And you feel me? He presented it to me, man. You know, as long as I'm on that shit he want me to be on, you know what I'm saying? And so that's, you know, a main thing to keep me grounded, man. And understanding, you know what I'm saying, that this isn't, you know what I'm saying, just all me. You know what I'm saying? It's not just 100% Akbar. You know what I'm saying? I got a team, man. And behind that, I got, you feel me, the source. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, a lot of times, man, a lot of young artists, we get beside ourselves, man, and you feel me, we got it out the mud and stuff, which is true, you know what I'm saying? Because, you feel me, take a certain type of individual, man, that, you feel me, like you know, NBA Youngboy, Chief Keef, you know what I'm saying? Like, people can say what they want about him, man, but it take a certain type of
Youngboy, nice, he dope.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a certain type of individual, man.
If I was a young 20-something-year-old kid, I would be listening to NBA Youngboy.
You know, that entrepreneurial spirit in the first place, man, to go out there, man, start your own label and, you know what I'm saying, put your whole team on, and now y'all all on doing shows all over the place, man. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? The message, all right, the message, we could work on that, but you feel me? Like, at the end of the day, the overall message
musically, I mean, again, yeah, you could change the message. I feel what you're saying, but musically, I'm only speaking musically. He's dope.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I ain't even saying he needs to change the message because I feel like that
he's growing. He's still growing. He's only 20. Like if I think back of the things that I was doing when I was 21 and even 25, bro, I'm not the man at 40 plus that I was when I was 25 and when I was 20. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's why it's all about growth. That's why I never get in that space, man, of like condemning like young rappers or anything like that, man, just because, you know what I'm saying? I know what I was listening to. Like, I know the type of music, especially, you know what I'm saying? So I would be a fool to say that, man, or sit up and try to make it seem.
Just do it differently. My thing is, just do it differently. Can you do it?
Exactly. So
don't change the whatever. Yo, let you grow out of that. But while you growing out of that, could you be unique and can you be distinctive? Man. You don't have to bite everything to every sound, like, and that's the thing. To be honest, that's my only problem with music today.
Yeah,
that's my only problem. I don't mind you talking about the stuff because in my world, I know there's a balance in my world. I know where to find the Akbars and the Freddie Gibbs and the Pharaoh Monches and the Common and all these dope artists. I know where to find the Griselda and all the dudes that's unique and the guys that have substance and so just do it differently. And you're doing it differently. You have a different flow, you have a unique flow, you have a unique look, aesthetic to you, and that's why I applaud you, man. That's why you're here, brother.
I appreciate that, man. Because like you said, man, you know what I'm saying, I feel like the world do need a NBA young boy. The world do need a Chief Keef, you know what I'm saying? But the world don't need 25 of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's only one of them, you feel me? So everybody else,
let it be just one. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing, man. And I just wanted to be myself with this music stuff, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's hard to maintain something that you're not, you feel me? And then around having energy, man, trying to, you know what I'm saying, be something that I'm not, man. You feel me? So, you know, I don't ever want to get into that space of just trying to, you know, and then I just like where I grew up, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got to prove myself to nobody or anything like that, man. I never had anything to prove, you feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? So we could just leave it at that, man. Because, like, you know what I'm saying? I never had to prove anything. So it was just like, why not be yourself at the end of the day, man? Why not? I don't need the whole world to take me gangster, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool. I can just be myself at the end of the day, man. And that's what we do.
Ain't nothing wrong with being yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with loving your woman. Like, you know, again, man, I hate to keep touching on that song, but to me, that's just I love the song. I love the video. I like that, and I know you're gonna show different sides. I know you're gonna show different sides to you. And I seen a little bit in the Everlasting, in that song, but I would love to see brothers, man, make it cool to love our women, to love ourselves. Like, it's a way you can do that, and you did it. You did it. That's what I'm trying to get across to you. Do you realize what you just done? Do you realize what you just done? I don't think you realize what you did. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest, no disrespect, but I don't think you realize what you just done. Like, you made that cool. Like, we seen glimpses from artists here and there, but yo, to put it all together.
When I appreciate that, man, I had to salute my team, you know what I'm saying, just because, like, the visuals, man, you know what I'm saying, that's what really brought the, you know what I'm saying, really brought it together, man, and sold on all levels, man. Shout out to my dude, man, director Nick Leisure, man, out of the SAC. Natty Ciders for letting us record at their vineyard that y'all seen on the.
Who's the young lady? Who? I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off. I apologize.
Oh no, you good, man. Young lady, Queen, man. Her name's Aaliyah. She's from Sacramento, man. You know what I'm saying? Actually, man.
She on Instagram?
She is on Instagram.
I'm just curious.
Instagram, man.
Hey, somebody might want to. Hey, I know artists. Somebody might want to hire her for a video. You know what I'm saying?
They'll write the black girl to the to the T, man. So you know what I'm saying? You know, man. And so that's just a little thing, man. Just because I remember like my last music video shoot, man. And I say this, man, before so I don't want to keep talking to you. Say keep talking your ear off.
So you're not doing that, bro. You about to wrap it up. You about to wrap it up.
Like at the end of my last music video, man, like Everlasting Thought we did out in LA. So I'm looking around the set, man, and mind you, bro, I'm not even no emotional type of dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm not though, ball my eyes out on no, color purple or anything like that. But I'm looking around the set, man. I'm seeing like lights and all these people being directed to go which places and all this other stuff, bro. I swear I dropped like a Denzel glory tear damn near, man. Like,
it finally hit you.
It hit me. It finally hit you. It hit me, and I'm like, damn, man. It's like all these people is like here, to support a vision, that I had this off on a piece of paper in the closet somewhere, bro. Yeah. So this shit is like so surreal, man. And it's just a testament of just, what putting some energy and some effort behind your dreams could do for you within a year. Man, within a year, man. You know what I'm saying? So what they talk about. Amazing. Exactly.
So you ready? So you ready as we wrap this interview up, man, which is again, man, this has been a pleasure talking with you, brother. But I want to ask you this. Are you ready for the long haul? You got O'Brien behind you, the legend. You got the legend, Mrs. and the still beautiful Karyn White, behind you. Are you ready for the long haul?
Man, most definitely, man. I feel like we ready for all that and more.
Because it's a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a race. It's not a foot race because guys come and go. And Mrs. White, they'll tell you about that, But exactly. you got two people behind you that got music that's gonna live on when I'm in the dirt, when you in the dirt, when they in the dirt. So, that's why I asked you that, man. You ready?
Man, we was I remember us being in Atlanta, man. We went meet my dad. Miss Karyn went to go sit down some restaurant, some quick food, man. They literally playing her song "The Way You Love Me" in the restaurant types thing. You know what I'm saying? But we got servers walking out to us. You know what I'm saying? Putting food on the table. Her song is coming off the stereo. You know what I'm saying? But she's so down to earth, and so you know what I'm saying. She's not going. Y'all know what song this is? Y'all know who I am? You feel me? Like that's not her energy at all, man. And so. With people like that on the team, man, they most definitely prepared me for, what I'm saying? Just
and she can still sing. I saw that Gale in the Storm. She looks amazing, and I always thought that her voice was so underrated. Like she was not just a beautiful chocolate woman. Because I remember when she came out, she's the reason why I love Chocolate Sister to this day. To this day, I remember seeing her and when The Way You Love Me came out, Secret Rendezvous with her dancing. I remember I was like, I don't know what these feelings that I have, but I feel different inside. It is, and even when I saw the movie that your pops directed, I was like, man, she still got it, man. So with all that said, you got a great team behind you, man. You ready? You ready to put it into overdrive, brother?
Yes, sir, man. And that's what I love about my team, man. We always evolving. And you know what I'm saying? It's just transforming, man. We, adding on, you know what I'm saying? Like just to be stronger in other areas and stuff like that, man. And so, it's so much love with the team, man. And more than me, you know what I'm saying? They ready for the long run. They ready for the marathon. And that's what got me so excited is that they're excited about it. You feel me? Because if they was tiptoeing on
hard, bro. She's pushing you hard, bro. I follow her on Instagram, man. It just, I know that's her product, that's her job, but it just seemed like it's genuine, man. Like I see, I don't know her like that, whatever, but it just seems like there's a certain energy, man, around that's you guys, man.
This thing, man, is like is 100% genuine, or she ain't a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because she can't fake it for nothing. You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna be able to fake it for nothing, man. That's how, you know what I'm saying. So she's most definitely a real one, you know what I'm saying, who gonna let it be known what needs to be known, man. And, you know what I'm saying? You can't have nobody else better in your corner for you than somebody like that, man. You know, for real.
So who's the biggest star that you have met since you've been around, you know, since you've been, you know, a part of this whole music thing? Because you basically in the music industry. Who have, you know, who's the biggest star that you've met? I've seen you talk with Lord Jamar. How was that also?
Man, that was so crazy, man. When I tell you, man, I've been watching the Godcast and Godfrey We Trust, both those podcasts for the past 3 years, man. Like, not missed the episode before this music stuff even started. And so then I get the opportunity because I reached out to Lord Jamar, man, just over the summer, you know what I'm saying, just filling him in. Like, I'm just now signed to Miss Karyn White and, you know what I'm saying, music, and he was messing with the movement. And so it was a connection from right there, man. And, you know, a little bit later.
So that's how the interview came to.
Yeah, and a little bit later on down the road, shout out to my wonderful publicist, man, the amazing Miss Rochelle. You know,
shout out to Miss Lee.
Yeah, got that thing like really set up and officially moving and stuff like that in December, man. And so it was just so surreal, man, being on a podcast with mugs that you watch every day, man. And when I tell you, man, my girlfriend will attest to me, you know what I'm saying, watching a podcast every, you know what I'm saying, time they drop a new episode, man. Like, and so then I'm on there, you know, promoting my music on that same podcast that I watch every day, man. It was just a surreal moment, man. It just let me know, you know what I'm saying, that God is really behind this, you know. Right. Anyway, man, I come across their podcast, you know, randomly a few years ago, man. And then, you know, I started doing music and get into that entertainment space. And, you know, that's one of my first major podcasts that I'm able to land. Like, so it was just love, man. So shout out to Godfrey, man. Shout out to Lord Jamar, Rod Digger. You know what I'm saying, man? They, you know what I'm saying? Much love to the team, man, for real.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, look, brother, it's been an honor to have you on here, man. Where can the fans find you at on social media? Where can they find, you know, the 2 singles, brother?
Oh, man. Yes, sir. On social media, man. So on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's going to be at Akbar The Great. It's AKBARTHEG and the number 8. So I'm not sure if it's going to pop up how it's spelled, you know what I'm saying? But AKBARTHEG8, man. You got to check out the website as well, man. Sign up for the news email listing that we have, you know what I'm saying? You get all.
Gotta get that website. That website important in 2021.
Hey, man, for real.
People don't know about that website, man, because, you know, right now, that YouTube, they own that content. You don't own your content. That website. We gonna talk about that another, because me and your pops was talking about that.
Yeah, man. So please check out the website, akbarthegreat.com, man. We got the merch, we got the unreleased photos.
Show the merch. You got something on.
I got a hoodie on right now. Actually, you didn't realize.
I forgot you had it on.
Yeah, man. This is one of my Simple Akbar hoodies. This is from the Simple Akbar line, man. We got a few different lines that we have out, man. We have a few different lines, so a few different styles, man. But this is for the more, you know, just mature crowd, man. You know, Akbar and LLTK, Long Live the King, man. For the EP that'll be releasing after the mixtape, man. Born King EP, man, is still on the way. So much love, family. I really appreciate you having me on, man. We've reached out, we've been connected, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's good energy,
you know how
man.
It is, man. I like I said, man, I never forgot. I said, man, I gotta make this happen. I have to make this happen, man.
I'm glad we did.
You know, I'm glad. Hey, I appreciate that for you saying that, man. And you know, I look forward to many great things from you, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on, man. Again, man, Bridging the Generation podcast, man. Akbar the Great. Look, check out the he got 2 dope singles out right now on, you know, what's the name? Let folks know these names. I don't want to mess the name up.
Oh no, you're good, man. We got YRBG, man, Young Righteous Black Girl, and that's streaming on all music platforms, from Apple Music, Spotify, Shazam, any music platform you can think of, as well as Everlasting Thought, man. We just now dropped a new music video for that. It's on my YouTube. The link is actually in my Instagram bio. So if you're on my Instagram, you might as well just hit the link and Go check it out, man. But, you know, shout out to Shiraz Belushi, man, for helping me out with capturing the vision on that project right there, man, and bringing it to life. And as well as Twyla Chris, man, lead singer of Hello New World, man. She's the co-star that you see in the music video. Beautiful, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to go check her out.
You know how to pick them. You know how to pick. Yeah, you know how to pick them. Hey, well, y'all here. Hey, we about to wrap this thing up, man. I'm Malak Arif, Bridging the Generation podcast, the one and only Akbar The Great. Check him out. It's dope. This brother, I'm telling you, remember the name, remember the name, remember the name. We signing out, man. It's been an honor, pleasure to have you on, man. You take care, brother.
Much love, family, man. I appreciate